computer. Okay.
Yes. Okay. The red light is on, so we're good.
Oh, good, good, good.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with this one.
Okay.
I'm just gonna download them on there. Okay.
I had fun with the pour. I really enjoyed doing it.
It's my beautiful. I know. There's something just so it's so simple and so beautiful. I agree.
Yeah, with the right photograph. Yeah, so I got quite a bit of the wax. So I'm already thinking, oh, I want to, I mean, not everything lends itself to it, but and it's totally smooth.
Oh, you bought
The
the bleached beeswax, the
I
white.
did.
Oh,
I did.
good. I know it's nice.
Yeah, and I did your technique of the center and then each of the corners. And the first time I kind of screwed it up. I think I did it again. I think I did a second one. I can't
This
remember
is
what I,
beautiful. It looks like a tintype. It's so beautiful. It's just a beautiful, beautiful picture.
and I was gonna, I looked at some of your pours and sometimes you add a little, like a little touch, like a little stencil thing. But yeah, so I wanted to ask you, I mean, I kind of like it just like that, but
So
um
so there's a bunch of things that, well,
mhm.
this surface, you can add mica powders,
Oh.
which are they're actually really terrifying. They're addicting. Like they come in every friggin' color. They come in opalescent, they come in all of the like emeraldy colors, they come in like crystal colors.
Uh-huh.
You can get gold mica powder. Um,
Oh,
and
that's good.
all
'Cause-
those powders will just stick right to the surface of the wax, which can be really beautiful.
Yeah.
You can also put pigment stick on this. It always seems like it won't stay on there, but if you put it on there, and you can kind of rub it in, or even use a little bit extender and just leave it, it will dry it will stay on there. It does seem kind of like it's in possibly even unstable or like, not possible surface.
Mhm.
However, you know, I've never had any problems with it. It totally does dry and stay on there
Okay.
and it's fine. You I usually don't add any textural stencils, but you can use rubber stampers on top of the surface because it's so smooth. So that might be what you're talking about. I mean, I did do some pieces, and what I did was I actually put quite a bit of paint on the wax surface, and then I used the stamper to actually reverse. So remove the paint.
Oh.
So rather than add, so you can
Yeah.
add, you could probably use even an ink pad and use a stamper, put the ink on the stamper, put it on the wax, and make a design. You could probably also put pigment stick or acrylic even on the surface and then use the stamper to remove the paint.
Oh, that's such a cool idea. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so there's always the positive and negative of
Yeah.
stamping, any of those,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I
adding
agree.
it or subtracting it.
Yeah. Cool. I've been playing with gold stuff, and I'm actually thinking I might have you skip some of the next ones, and get to the gold one because I'm having some trouble with it. And part of it is, getting to stick and working with it. But
Well, gold leaf is like impossible. I mean, come
no, I
on.
didn't. No, it's not. I tried. I did, but you'll see. I did
Okay.
a couple of test things with uh, gold pigment. I did a
Uh-huh.
test with the gold encaustic, and then I also had the powdered gold.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, from me, that I'm not, I actually, as far as the pigment sticks go, gold is not my favorite of the pigment sticks and the iridescence. I would say like the copper or the bronzy colors work well. I don't think that the gold and silvers, they're super translucent. Like they're like not there.
mm,
They're like really hard. for me to see or get
Yeah.
the feeling that they're there. So and gold leaf, like I know how to use it. Like that's
Mhm.
fine, but I just don't tend to like the way it looks.
Yeah, you're right. And
I don't know what it is about it. I just don't like it.
yeah, yeah. And it doesn't even always show the best gold.
I
It
agree.
doesn't.
The only time that there's a guy that you would probably really like. There's a couple actually. I don't know her name, but his name is Dan Burkholder.
Oh yeah, I know. I took a thing with him. Yeah,
Right.
and
So we used to
we were
show at the
working.
same So we showed at the same gallery in Woodstock, New York for years. And
Wow. Okay.
yeah, so but he does like two layers. Like there's a gold. I think the gold is behind the image, and so it's like the ghosty
Right.
parts of the image are
That's yeah.
you're looking
Yeah.
at the gold instead of at
Uh-huh.
right. So it's like two layer. I mean, so that can look nice, but I think that's almost impossible to achieve with the wax. Unless
Yeah.
you have, okay, so this is something you could do though, is you can take the gold sticks extremely well to the wax.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It
Okay,
does.
so if you
Yeah.
make a wax surface over a photograph and you lay down gold leaf and then you selectively put wax over areas of it, then you'll have some gold under the wax and some gold
Oh, that's an idea. Oh, okay.
out of the wax. But the problem for us with as photographers is the gold leaf itself is opaque.
Yeah. Right.
So we totally lose the photo. So we're talking about like a background area or a
Mm-hmm.
foreground or a sky. We're talking about an area that doesn't have any detail that you need.
Okay.
Right? So it's like, well, where are you going to put that? You remember when you did your big gold moon or whatever?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that makes sense because it was like a solid and it was
Maybe
in the
I saw.
background.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like, I, I, I often just struggle with why does the gold make sense in the work? The only way that I've been able to do it is abstractly and using the powder. Like if
Mm-hmm.
it's like just a highlight somewhere or there's a gold shimmer to it, an area.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been able
I'm
to intellectualize the gold leaf.
yeah.
Like
Well,
what does it mean?
I've been playing with it. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
do have questions about it.
Okay.
But I like your ideas of doing the reverse stamping, and I might not do it on this one, but yeah, just I'll do some tests and start playing around with that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
I mean, for a long time when I was pouring in the old days, I would paint the whole piece. I would put the photograph, pour the wax on top of it. I would cover the whole piece with paint, and then I would remove the paint where I wanted to see the photo.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
kind of like that foggy window idea where it's like,
Mhm.
when you can't see outside because the window's all fogged up, and then
Mhm.
if you wipe it with your hand, you can see through it again.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, and this photograph has that effect where it's like
Mhm.
everything's kind of blurry, but then you can see through to her eye,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Hmm. That's a great idea. Okay.
Okay. So you want to talk about this one or
Let's move on from these two. I was doing things, but we can go back to those another
I
time.
feel like you added this new green part, this light
But
green.
and the reason I did that was for some reason I couldn't get the pigment stick to really get in there. Usually I think I had too much blender on it. So I just said, oh, okay, I'll just take a palette knife and I'll just play with it. I'll just work, just let it go like
Oh, that's
that.
what I like the texture. That's nice.
You think it's okay?
Yeah, I like the texture.
Okay. Because you had said something about I had to you wanted a gradation, I think, of darker, lower, and
Well, I
then
think this side with the flowers on it, it looks more atmospheric. Like it's darker. It has like it's
Mhm.
more like a cloudy sky or
Yes.
a sky.
Yeah.
This
Mhm.
side was so solid, one color. I think
Yeah.
this is more interesting now, and I like the way it drops off, at her waist, and then the flower drops down there is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was because I was have, you were saying it, the gold sticks to the pour wax. This one, it just wasn't sticking. It was very strange. So
Gold
anyway,
powder wasn't sticking.
no,
Pigment stick.
the pigment stick. I think I put in too much blender and it was just kind of
Oh,
slopping around.
okay, so watch the blender. I think what I do with the blend, I try to put the pigment stick on straight and then add the blender as needed. I don't mix them together.
Oh, okay. Because I've been, like I have these plates I use as a palette and
Uh-huh.
mix in the blender
No, I
and
don't no, so listen,
okay,
so think about it like, so use the blender, I mean, use the pigment stick
okay. Mm-hmm.
where you want it on,
Mm-hmm.
put it actually on the piece, or if you're making two colors, you're blending them together, just stay pure pigment stick with pigment stick,
Okay. Okay.
right? If you're mix them however you want, either on the piece or on the palette. Then when you're ready, like you were almost going to wipe it around or wipe it off, but you want to spread it out a little bit, then just take a little bit of extender on your finger on a brush and add it to where you want to extend it.
Okay.
And then blend it together, wipe it with a paper towel. Don't pre-mix like 50-50 extender. I never mix them together.
Oh, well, that's great. I mean, yeah, I mean, sometimes a mistake like that, this is how I'm learning. So then you say, well, okay, this is how you're supposed to do it. That's
I
great.
think I've heard okay, so like I feel like I don't know, Marcy is an encaustic artist that I have worked with, taught with, studied with, etc. She will actually take extender
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like peanut butter and jelly, she'll like kind of put it all over the surface and then she'll apply the pigment sticks on top of the extender.
Really? Wow. But does
I,
she use
I don't do that. I do the exact opposite. I
okay.
do I do pigment stick first
Mm-hmm.
and I go as far as I can with the pigment stick. And then if I need it to go more translucent or go, I always call it like it's like I'm thinner or I need it to go like
Mm-hmm.
smaller, right?
Mm-hmm.
Into the cracks or something. And then I put a little extender on my finger and rub it in
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Like I try not to overuse the extender. I don't trust it as a surface and it's like too, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's slower to dry, it's more
Mhm.
slippery. I can't put anything else on top of it. You definitely can't wax on top of it
Yeah, right. No,
until
I
it's
have to
totally
wait.
dry.
I've been basically, like even out here in Arizona, I wait a week, even with the faster drying extender. So that's really a great tip. Okay,
I use as
that's
needed in the moment, not pre-mixing. I also like don't tend to I don't like to waste paint and it's like if I'm not going to use it all, I don't want to like make a
Mhm.
make a big pile. I
Yeah,
mean, even when I was an oil painter way back when, which didn't last that long because it wasn't my favorite medium, but I wouldn't put all the paints out and just count on them. I mean, I know oil paint lasts forever, you can always reuse it, but I just
it dries out. Yeah, no, I
you
guess
know what
that.
I'm talking about, like when you go to an artist studio and they always have like all their paint out on the palette and they're like it's lasts for, I don't know, it's just kind of like maybe it's one of those art myths that's like, oh, it's because palettes are beautiful and people like to put a lot of paint out. I just never did that. I like to kind of I like to put some paint out and try to use it all. That's
Mhm.
also why I try to paint more than one painting at a
Right.
time.
So you're using it. Yeah, you're
I'm spreading
spreading.
it throughout like a
Mhm.
couple pieces. I also like to overwork things. My go-to like into it is to overpaint my painting. So to kind of like combat myself strategically,
Mhm.
I force myself to move around so that I don't overdo something.
Oh, that's cool. Well, speaking of what do you call it? Overdoing something.
Uh-huh.
Let's let's move on to the
Next email.
not this one. I mean, but the one after it, the
Uh-huh.
last one, that one, yeah. No. I mean, it's the last one in this set.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, go back um, because I don't like
Oh,
it, and
this
I'm
one.
really thinking I need.
Oh, you don't like this one now?
Well, no,
Uh-huh.
because okay, so I put the more medium on top, kind of tone it down. It just looks kind of mushy. So I was thinking, I'm just wondering if I should just put an iron on it, and just really blend it in.
Wait, what, the
So
left side? The flower side?
yeah, yeah. You don't think so?
No, I mean, okay, so wait, I'm trying to remember. Like, I think she looks good. I think the flowers look good. I mean, to me, these flowers on the right are now brighter. I think that's what's the problem is for you. Is that I
Oh.
think that what happened is that these flowers on the right are now like so in the foreground
Mm-hmm.
and sharp that these flowers on the left look like they're way back.
Yeah, because I think the left was dominating for a while, so you suggested putting the medium on to,
Right,
tone
the
them.
color on the right ones. Right. So, well, we can dirty these, you can dirty these up and make them just look like more a part of this little, because the black represents a space that's going away back. Like
Yeah.
it's dark here now. It's so, and I don't have any, I have no lights in my upstairs anyway. So it's darker here. So I feel like I'm farther away, right? You're closer up, you're brighter, I'm farther away. So
Mm-hmm.
black creates this abyss, and then these flowers are sort of, because they're
Hmm.
big, they're popping in contrast. One of the things that you could do too is, if you're not married to this white background,
Hmm.
why isn't the whole background go darker?
Oh, just so what would I do?
Just
Put black gray,
graphite
yeah,
gray or black
resin, yeah,
pigment
just
stick
something.
and make
Okay.
background dark. I mean, I think that that
Mm-hmm.
that for me is more of a problem than either of the groups of flowers.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
kind of like,
Music background. Yeah, because it's so bright. Yeah.
well,
Okay.
and what like compositionally, like what is that doing? It's like it's almost it's almost like that those horizontal lines are competing with both of the pieces on each
Mhm.
side, not
Mhm.
unifying them, but sort of like almost
Competing.
like competing. So it's like this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing,
Uh-huh.
how do they all fit together?
Okay, so how about if I it could be graphite gray, but how about if I put a little bit of purple so it's kind of it keeps picking up that, or is
Give a
that
little bit of purple here.
yeah.
I mean, that's fine if you just did a very, but it'll be interesting if you, when you just do it, you can always go darker, do just a very little bit at first, just to see if you like it. Or,
Okay. Okay. Well, that's
but I
interesting.
don't think technically there's anything wrong with either side.
Yeah.
I just think that the whole is not working together.
Right.
So
Right.
I would think more
Yeah.
about how to make both. Let's talk about the war, for example. How do we make both sides work together? They're not working. They don't want to work.
That's yeah. I don't know. That's
They don't want to work together. They have history of hatred, and they don't like they whatever.
yeah.
But for your art, do you see? It's almost like they want to be associated,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but it's like, and then
So,
this bench, this part right here where she's got her arm or something,
mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
would leave this white for now.
Because that's right in the center, and
Well,
that
it also needs to have, you need to be able to see that this thing's bending. It's like a seated bench here. Leave that white for now and kind of, so that,
it's actually an urn that has some plants coming out of it.
right. But whatever it is,
As soon as you said that, I saw it.
it's still supporting her body.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, and technically, unless you want to draw a line over here on the right, like some type of benchy line
Yeah,
or
no,
a chair, but that's fine. Or she could be sitting on a stool next to the urn and you wouldn't see the stool because it would be under her body, which is, it doesn't matter. You could color this in too. The urn could be light blue.
yeah,
Just don't make it gray because that won't make sense. So
right,
this,
right.
yeah.
Well, so I will darken and soften the flowers on the right, and then slowly start
Right,
bringing
if you
it
you can
darker.
just take,
Darker.
right, just take a
Mhm.
little bit of the graphite gray on your finger and just kind
Mhm.
of like go almost just stripe the flowers. Like don't think about painting them. Think about just, like less is more. Just almost like, hitting it's like like when you're in the studio and you put light on something, it kind of just goes across it, and highlights whatever's sticking out, right?
Okay. So I just dab a little
I
bit
would
on.
just swipe,
Right.
yeah, put a little bit of graphite gray on your finger and just rub your finger along the flowers, like in a line, or from the right to left, like this. They could go sideways too.
Oh, so
Because
do like a cross thing. All right.
yeah,
Huh?
unfortunately, unfortunately with this whole painting thing and I mean, you're a photographer, you understand lighting,
But
right?
I don't understand the painting is like, well, I'm
Well,
learning.
it's really hard. It's really hard. I mean, highlights and shadows, really knowing where they are. And then in
Mhm.
a painting, it's like, unless you're looking, unless you're in the studio looking at the thing, looking at the painting, looking at the thing, it's very hard to remember or be consistent in the direction of the light, because
Yeah, yeah,
it's
I
just
see where the
really
light comes
hard.
in. So I should, so when I'm putting the graphite gray on, I would do a little bit more on the shadow side, which would be the right side of the flower. Okay.
Technically, if we're in line with the photograph and the way she was lit, she's
Yeah.
lit left to right.
Right, right. So the shadow, if I put a little bit darker gray on the right side of that flower line, that the flowers on the right, but
Right. That's why I was saying maybe it makes
that's
sense
the
to put the
shading. Okay.
graphite gray on your finger and go
Uh,
that way, go this way because this is where she's dark, right?
okay. Well, I'll try that.
I
Try.
mean, it's too like her skirt is still, and I think we've talked about this before, like I still think that, her butt is going to be darker, this side of her should technically be a little bit darker than
Okay, I
this
should.
side
Okay.
if we're following the lighting in the original photograph.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna put a note, follow the lighting for shading. Okay.
I mean, I sometimes do and I sometimes don't. I mean, sometimes compositions or paintings go in another direction and you're like, throw that out the window. I mean, you're
Okay.
the artist, like, right? You're allowed to do whatever you want, but when you're editing and processing the work, you can kind of say like, oh, in check, like I get it. Like the photo was taken with the light on this side and I painted it the other way. That's kind of confusing. I mean,
Yeah.
so be it, or you change it,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
notice it and you fix it. Um,
Okay.
I
I'll
think you're going to be a lot happier if this background is
it's
not
darker.
bright
Yeah,
white.
I'm tone that down. Okay. But don't, so I shouldn't iron the flowers on the left. I mean, that's not gonna solve anything. Okay, just
I don't think so. I think that's a knee jerk reaction of frustration of your whole.
yes, it is.
I
It
think
was.
that's a knee jerk reaction and yeah. That's
Yeah, okay. All right.
no. I think that I get it, but no, I think that, and also I think that there's ways to tone that if you decide as you gradually, make the background
Mm-hmm.
darker,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to change the effect, the total viewing of those flowers, and they may come back into favor with you, or you they might not. They might fall out, and then you could kind of just paint over them. I don't think you need to iron.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to a little bit of the gold leaf thing because I was
Is that in the next email? These?
yeah, yeah. So actually the second and the third ones are, like some testing things I was doing, and the one on the left is, no, not, that's something else. We won't have time for that. So I just played around with
Oh, wait,
this.
wait.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
now.
had this beautiful marble paper, and I thought, oh, so I just played
Uh-huh.
around with that, and then
Oh,
but I
yeah.
also wanted to add the different kinds of gold. None of this is gold leaf. It's either pigment stick or it's the powder. And
Well,
then
this one.
this is what I'm working on. So I just was trying different things, and I just finished this. I just finished, what you're seeing. I just put the gold on this morning.
Yeah, this looks like a book cover.
It doesn't it with the marble, like an
Yeah.
Italian book cover or something. Uh,
Yeah, it's such a powerful piece that masks the face on them. Is that a mask or is that paint on her face?
oh, that's a mask.
Oh, yeah, it's really beautiful. Her hand is lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Uh,
like the gold on her hair. I love this is like a butterfly wing.
where?
This whole thing is like a butterfly wing, and she's
Oh, I
like,
hadn't even thought. Yeah, yeah, that's interesting because I was doing a lot of butterflies. I thought I'm not going to do a
oh,
butterfly on this, but it is like,
totally like a wing. Yeah, it looks like a print. It looks like a print of a butterfly wing.
wow. The one of the test things that I sent you. I think it's the third picture in this row.
Uh,
uh, That is a real butterfly wing that I embedded in the wax.
this one?
But no,
Or
no,
like this? Oh, this one. Yeah, that's cool too.
I mean, we have a bat that lives above our front door, and we
Uh-huh.
always see all these little,
Oh, does he eat
insect,
butterflies?
yeah, little
Oh.
insect parts down on the ground. So I thought, oh, I'm going to put it in the wax.
Oh
But
my gosh, that's so
I
funny.
hadn't thought
Your treasure, your carnage is my treasure.
that's right. Yeah, so that's interesting to see that marbling as a butterfly wing. Ooh.
Oh yeah, this one for sure.
Okay. Oh, that's really,
Yeah, yeah.
because I do want to do some more. I have some other ideas that I want to work with the gold and the marbling. But
I'm always fascinated by the wings because the shapes in them are like dust put together like dusty, but they're always distinct. Like they're not, it's not like a line. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
they're
Hmm.
vague, but they're distinct, the colors and the shapes. It's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
I like the idea of using the marbling as wings, use the design as wings.
Yeah, it's like wood. It's like wood or wings. Yeah, these shapes. I mean, they're
Mhm.
so soothing, right? These kind of
Oh, I love looking, and I
line.
have, before I, you know, I put graphite gray and black on the left side and rubbed it in so it'd be a little more shadow on that side. But
Mhm.
before I did that, that the marbling just by itself with nothing else on it was so, I mean, with the wax on it, was so gorgeous. I thought, oh my gosh. But I wanted to play with the gold too. So I don't know if it works. Um,
With this one,
yeah,
I like it.
good. Okay,
Yeah, I like it. It's kind of, it's kind of like that beam of light coming down.
yeah, it's like it turned out it's like a beam. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's really nice. I mean, the only thing that you could do is
Mhm.
you could put a tiny little dusting if the light was going to be consistent. Her left shoulder here is the
Oh,
highlight
that's
shoulder. There could
okay.
be a tiny little dusting of gold here,
Okay.
and then like here on her chest,
Mhm.
and then like let it fall to here. I mean, as if because you put it in her headband, so then to have her, you
I
know,
like that idea yeah, just a little bit there so it picks
a
it up and
little bit
helps
here
the,
and then let it go to here. Just
uh-huh.
it helps like think about the eye just wanting to stay
Mhm.
with the fold and then it just goes,
I
corner,
like it.
headband, but you want people to go into the heart and the flower, like that whole thing.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
take them in there, lead them, use the gold to lead them in there, and then take them out.
Wait,
Right.
say that last part again.
I'll just use the gold to take them
Oh, into see into
into
the
her,
picture.
connect
Yeah,
connection to the flowers and her heartbeat, like, right? Or else they're just gonna kind of, your eye just wants to go across.
yeah. Okay.
So if you
Oh,
want people to like go stop in here, like take a little gold on the shoulder,
uh-huh.
on her dress, and then to here.
I really like that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And I do want to play with this more. I have some other ideas. I have more of the marbling. So there's some other, I want to play around with it some more, but good. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and did you just glue this photo on top of the paper and then wax the whole thing?
Yeah, I glued the photo down and I waxed and then I made the frame by
It's
what
very window-like. It's like she's in
yeah, so I made the frame with the um by cutting out uh the inside of a frame. So I had a what do you call
like
it?
a mat. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a mat. Yeah. So and then the actual frame is encaustic, but I put in different colors. It's kind of hard to see here, but it has a lot of texture in the frame. Um, it's not just a straight, it's a little raised and textured. So I don't know. Originally I wanted to do something where she's kind of floating out of the frame. Um, but maybe I'll try that on another one. But
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me, I don't know, just when you were talking too, it reminds me of like the affiliate, like the one, with anybody laying down and then they're laying, in a gold atmosphere, or on a marble paper, with again with the sense of the gold as, the ethereal light, or,
mhm.
the enlightenment or whatever, coming from underneath or across or in directions. I
Yeah.
mean,
I
it's
mean,
very
I'm putting
poetic.
together the photos that I want you to print, and some of them are challenging, but I do want to work with the gold with them also. So,
Okay.
um, great. Those are great ideas. I can we just look just for a minute,
Yeah.
with the next one because I have a question to ask you,
This
and
one. This one.
no, the very last one in this
This
series.
one. This one.
No, keep going.
Oh, the one with just the.
One with the wood. Yeah, it's it. Yeah. Okay, so I got this wood panel, like at a garage sale.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it says, but anyway, I'm just fiddling around. I'm just putting stuff down. So one of the questions I have is, um, what can I put the wax medium down directly on the wood? It has no encaustic, has no I
Yeah.
mean, it has no
I
jest.
will.
I could do that.
Yeah.
That's
So technically, you can use encaustic wax medium as the primer layer. And if you Google, I
oh,
mean, a lot of people do it. So, um, also if like you burn a panel or you do any
yeah.
like what do they call it? Pyrography.
We're using the torch.
Yeah, if
Right.
you're using fire. Well, also there's a hot tip pen you can get. You could, like Lorraine does, she burns holes into wood with the hot
Mhm.
tip. So it's a soldering tip. You can burn wood. You can burn, like, you could find driftwood or desert wood. You could put holes in it with the tool or
Uh-huh.
burn it, and then you can put wax on it.
That is so good. Okay, so that answers that
That's also,
question.
but you can put it directly on here. You would do like a light layer, just fuse it, and then if it goes into, you don't know what chemicals this wood has been treated with.
Right.
So you just have to, and you don't want to set fire to it because you don't want those chemicals to be released
hmm
probably into your studio. So just put a layer of wax on it, fuse it lightly.
Okay.
Some of the wax might go into the wood,
hmm
which just means that you need to build up layers.
Okay. All right. Well, and then I would I would do it over the areas where there's no picture, because I want the pictures, kind of a reference point for me to paint on them. So I
You want,
would
are these
glue
pictures
that,
come with it?
excuse me?
Are these
No,
pictures attached to it, or you just laid them on there?
I just laid them on. I found different Japanese art pictures that I liked, and I just plopped them down. I would cut them,
Yeah,
but I would say I would put those down with the glue, but I could wax over the wood, the bare wood, and wax over the glued
yeah.
down
I
picture.
mean, I don't know what
Okay.
I don't know what type of paper those pictures are on, but yes, you can either glue them to the wood with the PVA glue
Mm-hmm.
and then wax the whole thing, or if they're on rice paper or thin paper, you can wax the whole thing and then embed the
Oh,
photos.
that's why I could try the embedding. Okay. All right. Great. Well,
I mean, the
that'll
only thing about the embedding is that you're going to have the papers are going to be very translucent. You're going to lose
mm-hmm.
uh, you'll lose image, quality of
Yeah.
imagery. So if
Yeah.
you glue it, you're more likely to get
Mm-hmm.
a stronger image.
Right. And actually, yeah, and I just want to use it as a reference. So, like I can paint in the colors or whatever. Um,
I would probably glue it. I mean, it's
yeah,
always,
I think so too.
I
And
would
okay,
glue it.
and I can, this is just Xerox paper. I was just playing around with composition.
It looks like nice rice paper from here. I mean, that's what
Oh,
it looks
okay.
off. It looks nice. It looks like off white and pretty. It looks like my rice paper.
Yeah, no, it's just Xerox paper, but I could do, I can print small things. So okay, that answers that. Well, that's just going to keep me busy for a while. But I mean,
Well, I mean, great.
and I do want to get these pictures off to you because I'm really excited about some of the working with some of these pictures. So I
Oh, good.
want
I
to,
can't wait to see them. Yeah, I'm gonna try to read everything. Mondays, the next couple of days are just jam packed with
yeah.
miscellaneous activities.
Well,
And the weekend, I'm working all weekend, but Monday is my
yeah,
catch up
wow.
day. So, um,
There's no hurry from my side. I'll look into a
no, but
photo.
I'd love to get this like done. I mean,
Yeah, I know you do.
I've
Yeah.
been mentioning it out there, and um, no, I think that when I publish it, I'll still do like the highlighted itinerary details, but then I liked your idea about incorporating the schedule into the actual day of. And um, and I'll reach out to I mean, there's still just a couple details that I need to get,
Yeah, sure. No,
Uh,
that's fine.
and if you get any pictures from Star, just let me know. Send them to
I
me.
will. I
And that
will.
would be awesome.
Okay. Yeah, I
Um,
was thinking maybe we should use something that's, the real, um, yeah, I mean, I like that picture you used, but I know it was just,
oh
kind of
no,
like,
Athena totally just took that. I was like, no, it was like she
yeah,
was like, I was like, get me something, girl, on the internet. Just steal
right.
me something. I'm like, no. I mean, no, that totally was yep, a hijacked image for sure.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
And I
good.
just admitted it in the video. I stole